The rise in COVID-19 cases is alarming. Public gathering places are set to contribute to the majority of infections. The number of deaths countrywide stands at over 18,000.
Free State is not out of the woods yet. The province has more than 55,000 confirmed cases, with more than 1,475 reported deaths. The new hotspots are public gatherings and places of entertainment.
In the clubs, there's no corona. The only corona we get is from out there. There's no corona in the clubs, so Ramaphosa must just relax. Yeah, bona.
Going to level 5 would be best because the numbers of coronavirus are increasing rapidly.
We should comply to the rules, put our mask on, even though I don't have my mask on right now. But then, we should put our mask on, sanitize, keep the social distancing as possible. Yeah, but then level 5 is not a solution. It's not a solution.
The Mangaung Metro Municipality says there's an increase in non-compliance to health and safety protocols in the city.
We want business, entertainment places to be very sensitive, because this is where we've picked up a problem as the city. So we are making an appeal to members of the community, to business community, to please adhere to protocols.
Health Department says there is a need for serious behavioral change.
We have to prevent the second wave of COVID-19 because, as you can see, people have dropped their guards. People are not using their mask as with integrity.
Though the country is on alert level 1, it is still in the hands of ordinary citizens to adhere to COVID-19 regulations so that the looming second wave of the pandemic is avoided. Aphumelele Mdlalane, SABC News, Bloemfontein.
KwaZulu-Natal government says the recent spike in COVID-19 cases may lead to a much harder lockdown. Premier Sihle Zikalala says reckless behavior by some in public spaces is a cause for concern. There are currently over 122,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus in KwaZulu-Natal.
The KwaZulu-Natal government says the reckless behavior of some people is threatening to derail the good work done by government to reduce the spread of the pandemic.
We can now safely say that we are definitely going back into a hard lockdown if there is no urgent and drastic change in behavior.
A stern warning as COVID-19 infections continue to rise. In the past 2 weeks, new infections have risen by nearly 28%. Umgungundlovu district has recorded the most number of new infections. Government says it is worried by the behavior of some businesses.
As the festive season is around the corner, our hotels are going to be utilized. People are going to be visiting our entertainment areas and so forth. So we have a responsibility to engage the owners of those spaces.
Meanwhile, government says it will pay special focus on liquor outlets that continue to disregard lockdown regulations. Simpiwe Makanya, SABC News, Durban.
And we continue our focus on COVID-19. SABC News anchor Leanne Manas joins us now to give us an in on whether President Cyril Ramaphosa will address the nation soon. Leanne, a very good evening to you. So last night you hosted the Adopt a School Foundation dinner and the President was there. So just give us the lowdown.
Yeah, Peter, a very, very good evening to you. And you're 100% right. It was actually, I think, the very first public appearance that the president has done in terms of actually going to a function. So you can just imagine all the safety and PPE protocols that were put in place there. So everybody wearing a mask, everybody hiding behind face guards and shields and trying their best to obviously protect the president and everybody else that had gathered there. And this, of course, as you mentioned, was all about Adopt a School. Now, the president happens to be the chairperson of the Adopt a School Foundation. He has been for a number of years. And obviously, with the tough times that we've been facing in this COVID time, their funding has come down dramatically. So this was a dinner that the foundation organized in order to celebrate those that have continued to support and for those new people that were coming on board and hopefully were going to be funded. But it was at this particular dinner that the president stated that he is going to address the nation this week. So I was standing sort of on the side listening as the president was saying that he is very concerned about the rising numbers. We're seeing whether it be in excess of 2,000 or just below 2,000 per day. And it's very worrying to see these numbers growing like this. So he did say that, and he referred to it as a family meeting, as all of us do, and did say that he certainly is now long overdue to address the nation, and it will be coming up this week. So that is what he said.
Let me just jump in there and say, so as you say, a family meeting can go either way. So did you get a sense, he obviously is concerned, but is it going to be one of those grave family meetings where we'll be hearing the words with immediate effect?
I didn't get that sense, to be honest with you. He was very relaxed last night. It was actually good to see him in this kind of relaxed state, but he did say that he needs to warn South Africans. So at this point, I think, and again, you never know what's really going on in the president's mind, because he is one of those individuals that tends to hide what's going on very, very well. But what he did say, and these were in his words, saying he feels he needs to warn South Africans because the numbers are climbing and we need a warning. We are not at this point, he said, going to be sort of punished almost or scolded or made to stay home or maybe move up a level. He didn't say move up a level, but he did say that he wants to warn South Africans, not necessarily take drastic action. So that's what I read into it. It was kind of like to wake South Africans up and say, I'm seeing you're misbehaving. I'm seeing that a lot of people are not abiding by what we've enforced and what we've said, and you need to watch out. Otherwise, that second wave will be sooner than we imagine.
So that good fatherly counsel in the offing, probably. I want to pick on your brain about your own personal experience, and what are you seeing when you go out there, wherever you go? Are people observing the public health safety protocols? Because where I go, it just seems as if people have forgotten that we are still under lockdown.
So, Peter, I agree with you 100%. I mean, we're seeing that people are living life like it was before COVID was around. And it is a great worry. It's a worry for everybody that is under the circumstances where they are infected or they've lost loved ones to this, or we're seeing these numbers going up. I mean, at the moment, our health minister has got it. So that is also something that the president did allude to by saying that the health minister is raising the alarm. So it is there. It is right up at the top being discussed. And we need to abide by what is put in place for us, whether it comes to masks, whether it comes to social distancing. Exactly what you've said, I've experienced. I mean, whether you go out, whether it be past restaurants or even last night I was driving. In fact, I had to remind the president that we have a curfew. He was enjoying himself so much. I had to say to him, Mr. President, I would love to ask you more questions, but I think we got to get home because there is a curfew at midnight. This was at 11:15. But going home, there were so many people, so many roadblocks, everybody out and about. It's very, very worrying to see South Africans just going back into their habits that may very much so bring the country back into a lockdown. And that's something that I think none of us want to see, and especially not the president, because he spoke about the economic situation that we as a country are in. I asked him if he has any regrets pushing up to level 5 for so long. He said there were a few regrets, and those were some of the ridiculous laws that were put in place. One of them he alluded to was not being able to buy open-toe shoes and short pants. He said, there were very stupid rules, but given the situation again, would he go to level 5? Absolutely yes, because it is saving lives over the economy, and that is the route that he goes.
That's a good note to end it on, to remind us that we are still under lockdown, as you say, and the president is gravely concerned about the rising figures. Morning Live anchor Leanne Manners, catch her at 6 in the morning, and we'll also be speaking to the WHO Regional Africa Director about Africa's own figures, the reliability of data, as many people in the Northern Hemisphere question why the continent is handling this so well. So Dr. Matshidiso Moeti will tell us about this, including the rapid diagnostic tests that